Internet on. Oh man, hold up, hold up, way. R.I.P. Nate Dogg, man. We don't. Hey.
Okay, man, we are back. We appreciate everybody for
Yeah,
checking in with us.
yeah.
Debatable, episode 20.
Debatable.
It's been a great run so far.
Man, a year, man. It started incredibly. You know what I'm saying? A lot. Stella got her groove back.
Who you talking about?
Nia Long.
Right,
She done got Omarion.
right. So what happened with that?
I mean, I think she dead wrong for that, but it is what it is.
Yeah, no, I think that's just media. I think that's just media. I think that's just media.
I say it's dead. I just say it's dead wrong because of course, everybody needs somebody.
Yeah, I think it's all media play.
I'm like Nia Long.
I think it's all a media play.
Let that man live. You know what I
I
mean?
think it's definitely a media play.
Let that man live, man. You just 2 seasons,
Yeah, but
man.
let me ask you this, man. This is what I was thinking about. Because I've been looking at obviously, been into the extraterrestrial space, looking at different things lately, even more than usual.
Right.
Do you know of any black people that ever been abducted?
I don't think black folks get abducted.
Why not?
It's like it's like a code. You know what I'm saying? Leave them alone. You know, and like they down with those guys over there. So I don't think we get abducted. I think the thing is, I think there's a certain group of people that's on the menu. You know what I mean? And like you're food for the gods. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to us, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, I'm not saying that our gods is who's eating those people. I'm just saying, going on with those abductees and the abductors, don't mess with us. You know what I'm saying? Because the galactical realm, there's a council within the galactic confederation.
Right.
And this confederation consists of, I would think, several different beings. You know what I'm saying? And human beings, human, H-U, Hugh, man is a part of that galactic confederation.
Right.
And whoever's under Hugh, H-U, Hugh, is protected under that galactic confederation. Now, mankind is a kind of man or a kind of human. So they get disrespected. You know what I'm saying? They get abducted and poked and experimented upon. I mean, if you hear them stories, they be poking them. You know what I mean? They be all inside their brains. You know what I'm saying? Like they be doing all types of stuff.
All that.
Because they're trying to figure something out. That don't happen to us.
Nah, I never. That's what I was thinking. I never heard about, but you do hear about the encounters, like in South Africa.
Well, you want to see some stuff.
What's the guy? Nah, I don't want to say Quetzalcoatl. That's the person from South America that was considered a god during the Aztecs. What's that guy name? There's a guy from South America.
I know you're talking
Ike writes about him a lot. But either which way, and then you got the Doggone tribe. The Doggone tribe out of Mali. They also talk about interacting with, but with them. They didn't abduct them and take them nowhere, but with them, they said that they slept with them.
Now they stay having
underwater.
Sex. No, they stay having sex with us.
Underwater. Oh man, listen. In West Africa, they be talking about the mermaids.
Now they stay having sex with us.
Talking about what's it called? And I remember what's it called? Oh, they be talking about the beings, like the spirit beings that follow you around, the succubus, right? They don't call it the succubus though in West Africa. I forgot what they call it. The mommy water? No, the mommy water is the mermaid. But they got this other one that be in the dreams that be having sex with the men, right? Literally, I know this sister was telling me that this other sister had to leave this man alone because he had one of them joints, one of them joints in his dream.
Would not leave.
Would not leave. You know what I'm saying? Would not leave. So you hear about these type of interactions. So I forgot about those. So there is this definitely.
Well, again, but it's not abduction though, because
it's not coming off the planet. But it'd be a whole lot happening on the planet.
what is it called? Ostrich. I mean, come on, man. In the beginning, it says in the Bible, it says, God saw the woman that was fair and went in onto them. The only time you see that God went in onto anyone was with Mary. Mary said the angel Gabriel saw her.
Basically,
and
they're
then,
saying in unto his sex. That's
Yeah, I
basically
mean,
what they're
that's-
saying.
I mean,
yeah,
that-
because it basically the dude took his wife and went in unto his wife.
Right.
You follow what I'm talking about? So yeah, definitely the ostrich people you're gonna talk about.
Well, yeah, the ostrich people, right? The ostrich people is a genetic fact that these extraterrestrials had into relations with the Africans because their offspring gave off these ostrich people. Like the last show we had talking about in India,
Right.
how they have the four arms and the four legs, and they got
Yeah, it
gods.
was a god born like in 2008. It was an Indian,
Yeah.
you know, to them considered a god.
Yeah.
I guess to the ones that prescribe to Hinduism.
Right.
Exactly. Go ahead.
Yeah, but my point is, with that being said, is the same thing because these ostrich people, they all of them got ostrich feet because
Where's that in South America? South Africa.
I don't know what part of Africa, but it's
I'm
in
gonna look it up
Africa.
right now.
But my point is the fact
Ostrich,
the fact
toad
that these people have these ostrich
There they
shaped
go.
feet.
Damn, just Google ostrich toad people. Go ahead.
You know, that's genetic. You know what I mean?
Right.
It shows you that they have some type of that genetic line came into the genetic line by way of someone.
Zimbabwe, which is right next to South Africa.
Someone put it there.
And they called
not
it,
something, but something or a being.
they called it
put it
Doma,
there.
the
Yeah.
Fadoma, the Fadoma tribe, a tribe living in Kenyemba region in the north of Zimbabwe. So yeah, that's interesting, man.
Yeah, so
There
my
you go.
point, what's the point? The point is that genetic was put there because our genetic consists of 5 fingers and 5 toes. But then again, in the Bible, it talks about there are certain men that had 6 fingers and 6
And
toes.
that's amongst all races, because I definitely know a sister that's what is she? She's Mandingo, 6 fingers. She didn't have 6 fingers. There's a little bump right there.
Or something hanging, right?
And it was
I've seen a couple of hanging, a couple of hanging
6 fingers.
I've seen a couple of hanging fingers.
6
It's like,
fingers.
But my point is that's genetically inbred in based on a gene, an extra gene being implemented into your genetic code. You follow what I'm saying? Because with that being said, it's like anything else. Like Mayweather, he's so nice with boxing. He's so nice with it, with the shoulder roll and everything else, because his father
What
was
about that little? What about his son? Is that his grandson? What about his grandson?
I don't know.
Yo, you ain't seen the picture?
Nah.
I mean, the video with his grandson. His grandson like 2-3 years old.
Nah.
Boxing and what?
But what's the point?
My man, he about to be crazy.
It's the genetics. You know what I'm saying? It's inside the genetic code already. So dude already know how to position. It's easy. Like, for certain people, a lot of stuff come easy because it's genetically given to them by way of their mother, their father, their uncle. It's in the genetic code. You know what I mean? But leave alone, man.
Yo, listen, hold up. I wound up putting putting into the AI. Why do white people get abducted by aliens and not black people? I think I'm gonna have to put extraterrestrials because I think they was talking about what's it called?
They got funny.
Foreigners. I think they thought I was solo foreigners. You heard? Hold on, I'm about to go ahead and get into this right here. Yeah, man. But I just thought I would ask that, because I was watching my man Joe Rogan again. Ain't my man, but one day we're gonna definitely chop it up.
Definitely,
But yeah, definitely. The myth of white people being abducted by extraterrestrials has been popularized in popular books and movies. According to Lana Gorin, this myth perpetuates a false narrative of the hero teacher who charges headfirst into a dysfunctional inner city school and is able to single-handedly turn them around. I don't know, what does that even have to do with it? In Derek Bell's essay, Space Traders, he posits that the abduction of white people by aliens is merely a metaphor for the displacement of minorities and the power of dynamics that result from it. I don't know. I think this again. I tried to get it going on with the AI, man. I don't think the AI was hitting the day on the. I don't think they get it. You know what I mean? And it might not be enough information because all they doing is scouring Google for the information. So they probably not enough online for them to even react to. But what's it called? Yes, I was watching Joe Rogan. He was talking about the fact that we never landed on the moon. We talked about this before, right? Did we ever talk about this on the show? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, which is interesting because they have not been back to the moon. Human beings have not been back to the moon since 1972, and we got way more technology. So I had me going into that, and then I wound up seeing something else. You know what I'm talking about? He was trying to dispel of a lot of conspiracies. Me, I think, and then of course, I was also stimulated by the Prodigy video that's on our channel. Check out, was Prodigy killed because of Dr. Malachi York? And somebody was like, "Fuck no, it was because of the egg." You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying, Prodigy is the only person, the only rapper to come out finger pointing, talking about who is the Illuminati, talking about who that they killed Biggie, they killed Tupac. You never heard no real rapper with a voice come out and say anything like that. So then there's just a couple things started running through my mind. So I'm like, we talk about these abductions, Fire in the Sky, which is a popular movie about this guy getting abducted. But then I'm like, why does it happen to black people? But I'm glad we had this conversation because even though there's not abductions amongst Africans, right? But there is definitely interaction where we just talked about with the doggone, we talked about with the ostrich people, the Fodoma, and others. So I thought that was kind of crazy, if you ask me.
I mean, it's a fact. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. At the end of the day, God is extraterrestrial. So is Jesus. You know what I mean? And that's just that. You know what I mean? And if y'all think I'm wrong, just let's debate. Because I feel because I mean, maybe I didn't know, but Jesus was a part of an order, the order of Melchizedek. And Melchizedek was known to have not a father nor a mother, and a lot of people of the Bible was a part of this particular order of Melchizedek, and they called him the Green One, Zodok, the Green One. What is that? I just leave that right there. And whoever want to have a discussion or want to elaborate or build.
I don't think they mention green one in the Bible though. They say Zadok. They don't even say that.
No, they say the green one in the Quran.
Okay, yeah. Now Malachi Zadok. Melchizedek, you break it down etymologically, right? I don't know if that's the right word, the way to explain it. But then you get, Zadok, which means teacher, and then you get the name, Melchi, which is Malachi. So through etymology, the word breaks down as such. But again, these stories are before the Bible. I'm talking about, because you're talking about, potentially not even, potentially, I say potentially because there's so many different mixes of the different information. You're talking Zeus. When you are, for the most part, talking about Jesus, you're talking about a mixture of different concepts, formed into one. But there's so many different ways to tackle it. But one way would be like, Zeus, you know what I'm saying, because it was Zeus, and it was them trying to combine the teachings of the Jews and the Romans together, which created your Jesus, you follow what I'm talking about, or your Yahshua, so on and so forth. So, and then of course, when you start dealing with the Romans, man, their whole thing was, like I said, Europa. It was Zeus. It was everything was about outside of this earth. Everything was extraterrestrial, and it was not the Celtics. There was what's it called? But you had the Celtics too, right? You had the Canaanites, right? So outside of the Bible, that talk to have, there's definitely were some people called the Canaanites. I'm pretty sure because they had gods that they talked about. One of which was what's the name of that god? He was like a fish. He was also equivalent potentially to. They got the concept of Ta from him, or they copied the concept of Ta. Which Ta was actually a real being that lived in ancient Egypt and ancient Africa. And
who was Ta?
And let me get to that, but I'm trying to remember the god of the Canaanites. You know what? Man, I love Google. God of the Canaanites. I'm talking about Baal. Ha ha! B-A-double-A-L.
Baal, landlord.
Yeah, exactly. Val, which is somebody that they were defining as Lord in the Bible. So, but again, the Canaanites. Let's see, let's do this, right? Canaanites outside of the Bible. Is there any type of existence of the Canaanite? With Canaanites, people who lived in the land of Canaan, is there really a land of Canaan, right? Is there a land of Canaan outside of the Bible, right? And I'm pretty sure there was. Canaan appears throughout the Bible. Wow, let's see. Hold up. Canaan, okay, was a Semitic speaking civilization in the region. Okay, ancient Near East during the second millennium BC. Canaan has significant geopolitical importance in the late Bronze Age, okay, as the area where the of interest of the Egyptian, Hittite, Mitanni, and Assyrian empires converged or overlapped. So, my point is, you had these concepts being talked about before there was a Bible, because again, there is no original, I say again, but we never talk about it. There is no original Bible, there's only old text, like they found what the Qumran scrolls. Mm-hmm. They found a few of them, but there is no original Bible. So no one has found no one's found the Ten Commandments, which is supposedly written on stone. All they found was what the Egyptian coming forth by day.
Well, I mean, right? Commandments is one thing, but they ain't found no bodies.
Oh, they ain't found no bodies.
They ain't find.
They be trying to claim that they got these what do you call
cloth
tombs. But they don't be nobody in the tomb. They say they got Peter's tomb somewhere in Rome. Rome is killing it off of the tourism. Yeah, for religious tourism, yo. Religious tourism is out of this world, bro. But think about it. I would think that the Middle East makes a lot of money from religious tourism too. I mean, yeah, right?
Yeah. As well as Israel. I mean,
yeah, as well as Mecca, right? Right, yeah. So all of that, they
definitely Mecca. What?
Yeah.
It'd be like
let's see,
droves of people
travel to Mecca. How many people travel to Mecca annually for Hajj? Hajj, 2.5 million people every year.
That's a lot of money.
Oh, man, how much is a flight? How much is a flight to Mecca? On average, on average, a flight cost is about connecting flights from 968. Man, looking like it's about 1,500. So that's a hot 1,500 times what? But I guess it depends on where you're coming from in the world.
But I'm saying, come on, the airline industry is making billions of dollars, man.
Where's it? Oh, give me the online calculator. You gotta love the internet these days. Online calculator. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, boom. What was it? 2.5 million?
Mm-hmm.
Huh? 2.5. Oh, I'm over here doing it in 2.5. No, 2. Bam. Oh, hold on. 2. Oh, man.
While you doing that, Bill collected this battle Little Slap. I gotta watch that to see what's good about that.
You didn't see that?
Nah.
Okay, Little Slap battled somebody else too. They've been doing this whole series with Little Slap and his moms is all in the video. That's the second one.
It reminds me of Tay Rock when Tay Rock first started coming out. You know what I mean? That's how Tay Rock was looking, just like Little Slap.
Nah, he wasn't that young.
For real? He was young.
Wow, that's been a minute. Yeah. 370. No, that's no way, bro. $3.7 billion.
Yeah, that's what that's looking like.
Flight courts, bro.
Yeah.
Hold up. I gotta do the 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hold up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. $3.75 billion in flights to the Middle East. Yeah. So religion.
And that's just the flights. That's not even the paraphernalia,
religion,
and the merchandise.
Oh, he battled T-Rex. first. Yeah. I saw that one. He was T-Rex. That joint was hilarious. I mean, your man might get nice. He might get super nice. Look, this is the one I watched. You can see I watched it already. I was talking to shouts out to 15 Minutes of Fame, Uncle Ra, right?
Uncle Ra, yeah.
Uncle Ra, man. Shouts out to Uncle Ra. I was definitely telling him like, yo, that shit was hilarious. Yeah, I think I told him there goes a Little Slap right there. So they did like a little tag team. Dude was battling him, and then Little Slap jumped in. It's on the 15 Minutes of Fame channel. Yeah, man. Shouts out to them, man. But what's it called? Bobby Shmurda was on Math Hoffa. Y'all already know expert opinion, but I think they just released a clip where he was like, "How y'all battle rappers do it? Where y'all don't kill each other, talking all that trash
Oh,
on each
all
other,
right,
don't kill each
that's
other."
dope. That's dope. I gotta see that.
Yeah. I just saw the little video clip. I ain't click on it. But yeah, man. Shouts out to Bobby Shmurda. Shouts out to Math Hoffa. Doing this thing. Tony Yayo, I just saw him on. He's saying that your man, he ain't saying he's out of his mind. Oh, also Corey Guns and Peter Guns are on.
Yeah, I saw that this morning.
Did you watch it?
I watched the clip this morning, and Guns was talking his group, him and Tariq, did they thing, and how his whole mindset was like, once the high come down, to stay grounded, and these were the things that he was instilling inside Corey. It's like, when you're not hot, you know how to maintain when you're not hot, and then, and stuff like that. And he was like, yo, because when he came with that song, about the Bronx, the whole Bronx anthem thing.
Yeah.
He was like, it was like an accident. You know what I'm saying? The way he put that together. You know what I'm saying? It was like, it wasn't even supposed to be anything or like that, but it became a hit.
It still is. That's still a banger. That joint jump on.
You know what I mean? So like, that took him on tour. He was getting 20,000 a pop. You know what I'm saying? Between the two of them for shows and stuff like that. So he was really all over the place, like traveling with those guys. You know what I'm saying? That was popping and stuff. Talked about Jay-Z, the other Beyonce, like being a part of that time, that era, that based off that song. And then after that song, there wasn't a follow up after that song. It's like, yo, what do you do now? And kind of put him in perspective. He was able to put things in perspective. And then
he's done his thing.
Yeah. And then Corey chimed in. They was talking about a story about how he was moving through the area with Corey. You know what I'm saying? I guess Corey's a little man. He's walking through the block or whatever the case is, and he's dapping everybody up. But this one dude just look at his hand, not give him no dap, and he just smacks the shit out, bang. And then him and Corey kept moving. Like that was like a memorable story for Corey Guns. Like like how his pops just smacked the shit out of this dude for being disrespectful.
Crazy. Yeah, so I think I saw that in the text or whatever. So Tony Yayo was like, he said that Kanye's bugged the F out for his comments about Jews, and I don't know, man. I just think
he want to ride that wave. Was you a bit late?
Yeah. Well, no, but that's a Vlad question. Oh, also, I like that Sheik Luke checked Vlad about him telling Joel Santana, like, yo, man, why you tell Joel Santana he felt disrespected when Jadakiss, took his bandana off his head or something like that.
Nah, that was flame. They was having fun. They were together.
Vlad, when he interviewed,
he tried to spin it.
He was like, yo, I felt disrespect. This is what Vlad said. I felt disrespect. And he said, yo, so you got to be careful with that, because what if he'd have been like, yeah, you know what, man, fuck that nigga. What if he would have went that way?
Right.
Could have easily went that way. And now, like, people dying. And he was joking. Like, you saw like a little smile and stuff like that during the conversation. But
now he tried to spin it. Vlad tried to spin it.
Yeah, and
that's what they do.
On the next interview,
right.
On this interview I'm talking about, you can see him smiling and it's like that.
Oh, but that was face-to-face check.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
So
shouts out to Cheeks for that.
But shouts
out for Cheeks for that, because
he was still letting them know what it was, though.
No, because that's what they do.
Right.
That mindset right there. That's how they separate us.
Divided.
I don't know Vlad. He's been to our battles, whatever the case is. He follow our movement. You know what I'm saying? But Vlad, for you to try to create a spin with Joel, you follow what I'm saying? It's whack, because that's the mindset. That's how they'll find whatever. Whether it's in the inner city, whether it's a Biggie, Tupac, and the media take us and just drum it up, and that's how they was able to drum up Biggie and Tupac.
Man, boy, they drum that so.
That is the fabric of how they drummed up Biggie and Tupac right there. The fact that he was able to just drop that little tidbit right there to Joel's and see what Joel's will do with it, because you don't know what's inside that man mind. He trying to play me. So you felt played because he was having fun with me,
right?
Because Joel knew that's my guy, so we having fun.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. Yeah,
we having fun. So the moment you try to spin it for views is whack. That's 100% whack. That, you know how whack that is? That's whack. Like that dude in the court with Young Thug trying to give him a pill because there was nothing cool about that.
Right.
You're not giving Young Thug a pill.
Nah,
you know
that's
what I'm
a
saying?
setup. In no way that wasn't.
And
a
that
setup.
was a setup for Jewels right there.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Straight up and down
But you know, but
setup.
I don't even think that was done intentionally.
by Vlad.
By Vlad, nah, I think
Nah,
that's how you think.
But
That's how you think, and he don't care.
But that's what I'm
You
saying.
follow what I'm talking
That
about?
that
Right.
is the mindset
Right,
of
because
the media.
he's not from that, you know, he's not from the space where, you know what I mean, even though he can say, oh, I've been around, you know, because he has been DJing, shouts out to him, he's a,
No,
you know, he
but
been doing
that's
this thing, hold on, he been doing this thing in hip hop, I understand,
Okay.
but I'm saying because of that, he thinks,
He passed.
no, not that he get a pass, he thinks he understands the mindset.
In the
And I
neighborhood,
don't
I'm
think
gonna
he
tell you,
doesn't,
in the
right.
neighborhood behind, forget the cameras.
Shit, I don't understand the mindset
My
of
man,
half of these dudes.
in the
You know what I'm
neighborhood-
talking about? So how do you understand? Yeah.
In the neighborhood, without the cameras, you start trying to instigate beef between cats that's good like that.
Mm-hmm.
You follow what I'm saying? That's like the battle we did with Al Bial.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The
Right.
moment my man pulled off Al Bial's hat, you immediately put it back on because you don't know whether they're good or not. So you're gonna make
Right.
sure that he still feel good
Right,
while
right.
he's battling.
Right,
so
right.
now you have a whole performance in
fact.
front of hundreds of thousands of people,
Right.
and then this guy gonna come and try to be, I felt disrespected that he pulled
Right.
off your bandana.
Right.
That's some real solid shit.
Yeah.
And I'm shouts out to Sheiks for checking that like
Yeah,
that. You
that
know what I'm
was
saying?
dope.
Because for him to check it on the masses like that, it just shows the people the mental. And I'm telling y'all, if y'all don't know, that is the fabric of how they did that Biggie and Tupac beat, just like that.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Because it was subtle articles here, subtle articles there. Because before YouTube, all we had
was
was
killing them. They was killing them.
that's all we had was magazines.
You
You know what I mean?
get,
That-
you get
that-
perspective now. There was
Yeah.
definitely no perspective
Nah.
before. It was only people writing to sell magazines. So Vibe, it was Vibe. Who else was it? Source.
Right.
You follow what I'm talking about? Was getting the magazines off.
Right,
So they was writing the most, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, engaging, you know, they didn't care, oh, this might make somebody want to wild out. Nah, they didn't care. So at least now we get some sort of perspective. But at the end of the day, he don't understand what the mindset is like. Shit, like I said, we don't even understand what the mindset. We be coming from these same neighborhoods and shit. You don't know what somebody might be going through that one particular day that you say something that triggers somebody or for something that happened before, and before you know, you set off a whole series of actions.
In the neighborhood,
Right.
I've seen cats. I ain't gonna say I've seen cats, but I remember cats getting jumped on for jumping inside of somebody's stuff. You ain't got no business in it. Like,
Yeah, that's a fact. It
That's not your
happens.
business. Like, how you gonna get up in that right there? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Man, instigate was the first big word. I was telling you, we learned that big word, right? Like at about 4 or 5 years old. So you hit the block, you know, go outside. You just hear that, yeah, instigating. Why you instigate? I said, instigate. Why? I said, you know what I'm saying? That was like the biggest word part of my vocabulary at a very young age. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So we knew that. So that's exactly why, you know, what's your man's name? What's his name? Lord Jamal, the guest in the House of Hip Hop.
And you know, he hit that on point.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
that's a
Yeah,
that's a,
yeah,
the reason
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
why
but,
you were
but
guessing.
I think Vlad is more of a guest. He's more of a guest of the guys that actually grow up. You know what I'm talking about? Like when you grow up, come on, them white boys that grow up in the projects. You follow what I'm talking about? From baby up.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? Like they in there.
But from baby up, they know
It's
not to do
different.
that. They know not to
fact.
do that.
That's a fact.
So the moment you're doing that,
Right.
and you're saying you've been a part of the evolution of this thing. You've been there for the golden age. You've been in the age of hip hop, bro. My man, it was all subliminals. The subliminals,
Right.
Man, we was walking around here conducting mental telepathy, bro.
Yeah, that's a fact.
My man, we-
even in the graffiti,
My man.
no one can read the graffiti. No one can interpret the dances, which was, you know, at one point how the gangs would settle beefs.
Settle beef. Fact.
Nobody could interpret the subliminal
Shouts out
messages
to
in the
Flatbush
music.
Graffiti Kings.
Yeah, and shouts out the Zulu Nation, the Africa Bambaataa. You know what I'm talking about? So nobody can interpret all of that, bro, until we started translating it for them for money. You know what I mean? That's basically what happened.
Anyway,
That's basically what happened.
yeah, man, that kind of got me thinking, because why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, got me thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Vlad, and you know, but Cass got. Vlad, but cats got their eyes on you, bro. Don't act like cats don't got their eye on you. I'm talking about because like, there's a lot of stuff you got. He don't care, but like stuff like this stacks up.
He's in a super position.
Yeah, but it stacks up though because like he get cats to incriminate themselves.
It don't matter.
And then cats is catching you like
it don't matter. There's no way. There's nothing that you can do against that platform.
Well, it's not against. It's gonna be a knee jerk effect. Whatever it is, it's gonna be a knee jerk effect.
It ain't even gonna matter because he's so big right now that the moment, like say for instance, it was a situation where, like, say, with Tekashi 6ix9ine, he snitched, right?
Right.
And that devalued his brand amongst the community, right?
Right.
I don't know. I'm not saying he's not getting money anymore, but
Tekashi,
he still get money, right?
Man, he just had $1 million on him, and then put the GPS of where his location was.
That's a fact. Not only that, he speaks Spanish fluent.
Well, that's a whole nother
right. So he's able to touch a whole other set of people that don't care about that.
Yeah.
So now, say for instance, my point is, say for instance, Vlad does something that makes the community be like, nah, we ain't rocking with Vlad no more. Vlad is already interviewing the gangsters, the mafia gangsters. He's interviewing certified actors.
He's entering other spaces.
He don't need.
He's becoming a TMZ. He's entering other spaces.
He don't need.
But he utilized the culture to get to as stepping stones.
Because that's where he came from.
Right.
So but he don't need it no more. So even if we were to say like, nah, you know what, we ain't watching Vlad. Even if there was somewhat of a boycott, he'd still be good at this point. And it just is what it is, man. It is what it is. So it's about building platforms where we can empower each other. You follow what I'm talking about? Where we can discuss things from another perspective.
Yo, shouts out to Sheiks, man. Damn.
Like, we can't go on Vlad TV and talk about. I don't think we can objectively talk about people like Larry Hoover, Dr. Malachi York, what's the other brother name? H. Rat Brown. I don't think I don't think we could go on that platform. Even Malcolm X and Martin Luther King talk about the assassinations in depth, going to COINTELPRO, in depth from a side that says, look, this stuff is a fact. Like, this is a fact that these things was happening. I think at best on a platform like his is, there's some truth to it, and that's the best you're going to get. So it's important that we have platforms like this where we're able to say, nah, it's not some truth, it's 100,000% fact that they've been attacking our race. Right. You follow? I'm talking about anybody that look like us, and they've been doing it through music, programming, television, billboards, media, advertisement, food. You know what I'm talking about? My man, every which way but loose.
Shoot, that's one of the reasons. That's the main reason you see us with our crowns on. Our crown, these crowns that we have on, we had to wear these in the 1800s as free men. That's how you was able to separate the fact between a slave and a free man. The free man had this headdress on, right? And you was identified as a free man of color, a person of color that was of African descent. If you wore a fez or Tartar Bush, the Tartar Bush was only a free man could wear that. You follow what I'm saying? Right. So in 2022, you see us walking around. I know y'all see us in New York. I know y'all see Baltimore, Philly, Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all see. The point is that when Zen age, right? We're still walking around here looking like this is because America's still colonized. Right. It's still a place that's still colonized. That's the only place that's not decolonized. Right. So when they see us, it's like, okay, it's like a second look. Like I remember one time I stopped a fight between one of our brothers, right? Because we have disagreements, you know what I mean? We in Bushwick, and it's a public disturbance. Public disturbances, you get arrested for disorderly conduct. If you look regular, you go into jail, or they're gonna check you, something awful. So I'm in the middle of it because I'm in the middle of it. It's happening between two of my brothers, and one of my brothers is just wilding out. He's out of the car swinging. The other brother, he's like he's like seconds from swinging on the other. Right, but because I'm there, out of respect for me, he don't swing. But the point of the matter is, police, boys in blue, they pull up, and you know how they move. They don't even ask questions. They immediately want to start grabbing people and stuff like that. But the moment they saw who we were and how it was in front of our temple, you know what I'm saying? Our map. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he saw it was us. I like, yo, I said, this is family business, man. I said, stay out of it. It's family business. And the fact that I was able to speak with him that way, right, in an assertive manner, I said, my man, stay out of it, man. It's family business, man. It ain't got nothing to do with you. Which means it took that incident out of the jurisdiction of New York State. You know what I'm saying? Because now we it's like you can't
Ideally.
I mean, ideally, but
Because if they wanted to, they could have locked everybody up.
if
And
they, if they wanted to, listen, if they wanted to, they could have, of course.
that protect us as indigenous people,
Of course.
or you know, any of us in America that look like this, right? There are international laws that protect us, but the people they don't even know local and state law.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about,
yeah,
let alone federal and international law.
Everything that you
right.
say is
so,
100%.
but that's I'm feeling you.
But yo, everything you're saying is 100% fact. If he wanted
some other
to,
perspective.
if he wanted to make it a bad day for everybody,
Nah, but he recognized
he could have called the wagon.
Definitely could have.
And
That's all
everybody,
could have if he wanted to.
everybody would have got thrown up
He
in
could have
there.
if he wanted
but
to.
then,
because you're not gonna get a fake in their space, and that's just it. That's what I was about to go into when I talk about being on Vlad's platform.
Right.
You follow what I'm talking about? Being on any of those platforms, you're not gonna get a fair shake because
but
at the end of the
the
day,
point of what I was making is
It's
that
them.
the
It's
fact
for
that,
them.
yeah,
Yeah.
but the fact that we identify different,
Right.
You know what I mean? He has to take a double take,
Yeah.
and see that okay,
Yeah.
these guys are just not regular hoodies,
right? That's
white
the same
tees,
as probably the Caucasian
because
looks
of
at.
the fact that we still colonize.
That's probably the same the Caucasian looks at the Hasidic Jew. You know
Exactly,
what I'm saying?
exactly.
Like, oh, or we like, okay, these they different, da da da. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like even the interactions with Black Americans, African Americans,
Right.
and the Hasidic Jew is definitely
Right.
like, oh, these guys are different. You know, they got their whole, you know what I'm saying,
right.
set of people,
Right,
and,
right,
and
but
they're
we
like, oh, we're
should.
willing to defend
Right.
ourselves.
But we should.
right?
Rightfully so.
Yeah,
Just
we
like the
should.
Hasidic
There should be a
Jews.
respect for all races.
Of course,
at
but
the end of the day,
but it's not.
of
America
course,
is
because America
racist, man.
That's it. You know what I'm talking about. But it's I think even using the word racist might even be the wrong word. I'm just
Well,
realizing.
what are they
that.
then?
Well, because there's nothing really wrong with being, having love for your race. Like, because racism, being a racist is like being a scientist. You follow what I'm talking about? Is you know what I mean? Meaning there's nothing wrong with you having love for your own race, knowing your race, knowing who you are. It's prejudging, right? I think it's prejudice, and I think it's hate based on, because it comes down to what's the crime? It's not a race crime, it's a hate crime, is it not? Right?
crime.
Think about it. It's a hate crime. You follow what I'm talking about? So, so at the end of the day, it comes down to the hate that the America instills in us for anything that's not them. So the funny thing is, we over here, blacks, we're making fun of the Chinese people because they not white. You know what I'm saying? Not because they're not black. We making fun of them because they're not white. The Chinese people making fun of us because we not white. The Indian people making fun of us because we not white. This is what's happening in America.
That's
Real. Because
you just hit an ill
yeah,
joke.
because
That's
at the end of the day, it's all about America is about being white because that is their platform. So it reminds me of when Jack Ma and Elon Musk, they had a debate, guess where? In China. And when they had the debate, and Jack Ma owns Alibaba, and he
did once upon a time.
He used to own Alibaba. Dude, I don't know if he's on the run or what. That dude in Thailand somewhere, you know what I'm talking about?
In the
The
middle of
last
the
time
ocean.
they spoke, they found him in Thailand, just
Okay.
like about a week ago. He popped up in Thailand just when he gave up ownership of another, I don't know if it was Alibaba conglomerate or another conglomerate. He just gave up ownership of that of whatever conglomerate it was. Y'all can Google it. Jack Ma spotted in Thailand, and then it goes into it. But Jack Ma and Elon Musk was debating, and he was killing Elon Musk. And I'm saying that I don't think he would have got a fair shake at that in America. You follow what I'm talking about? Like he did in his home country. You follow what I'm talking about? So so it come down to it's like home court advantage. So look, so people be like, who was I talking to? I was telling a young boy. I'm like, yo, yeah, I'd rather. You don't want to be in America. Why you don't want to be in America? I'm like, yo, I'd rather be in Africa amongst people that look like me, because at the end of the day,
There's definitely a majority
you're
over there.
gonna get more love, and look, to me, I don't hate no white people. I don't hate no white people. You know what I'm saying? You know, so I don't, you know, but I love
Nah, man, this
being around
we
my people.
now we get love for white folks. That's
yeah,
fair.
and
You
then
know what I mean?
and then you know, and just the Americas is not the right environment. You know, the moment you out there, you just at a disadvantage as a black person. So I don't want to be where I'm disadvantaged. Like why? Like okay, yeah, people want to fight the, you know, fight the system and stuff like that. Yeah, that's cool. But me personally, that energy, you know what I'm talking about, to propel other things. You know what I'm saying? When you got a billion people, like, okay, if they don't want me over there, it's 200 million people that saying, well, I'm not saying they don't want blacks, but 200, but shit, they put Trump in office and it was like, yo, Trump was making blatant statements like, you know what I mean? Like he was like,
Still is.
like he got hate for black people. You know, even though I know he grew up around a lot of, you know, I don't know if he grew up around a lot of black people. I know he interacted with a lot of black people. We was engaging him in our music and stuff like that. Y'all already know the Raekwons, you know, something the Black Trump, all that stuff we know, right? But at the end of the day, we know what the mindset was, and guess what? America voted that into office. 200 million Europeans or white Americans. I'm not saying all of them voted for Trump, but a good significant number, enough to put him in office, won him an election to say that there is a mindset, like, so that's the mindset of that country. And that's why I'm good. I'd rather be around my own. So I don't blame Vlad because he doing him. He don't care. What he need to care for? You follow what I'm talking about? What he need to care for? Cats gonna be killing.
Shouts out to Sheik's Loose, man.
Facts. Cats gonna be killing each other anyway. Cats gonna do what they gonna do
That's
anyway.
a fact. Cats gonna be killing each other anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And he not gonna go into, he not gonna go into the causes. That's what we need to be talking about, right? We need to, when we be on this platform, we need to be talking about COINTELPRO. The shit they don't want to talk about, they're not talking about on Vlad. They don't go into detail on that. So we should be pulling up more info on COINTELPRO. We should be pulling up more info on how they took out Marcus Garvey, Elijah Muhammad, Martin Luther King, Edgar Evers, you follow what I'm saying, Dr. York, H. Rat Brown, you feel me, the Black Panthers. We gotta be talking about, opening that Pandora's box every given time with facts and information as much as possible.
Right.
Because there was a FOIA, which is a Freedom of Information Act, that was put in and certain files dealing with COINTELPRO.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying? So we should be digging into that and talking about that on these platforms that we have, right? So that we can bring exposure, so it can be a known fact, so that whenever we are ready for, charges, because we were talking about that, right? We talked about reparations, we talked about, kidnapping, we talked about all these different things that happened to us in America, right? You know what I'm saying? And which was done for business. So it's like, come on, sold crack. Y'all sold coke. Y'all invented crack. Now that's the files that ain't out yet, unless somebody's seen something I didn't see yet. But they ain't exposed those files, because that's the thing about WikiLeaks. You know what I'm saying? You see, but we need to spook behind the door. You know what I'm talking about? That guy they always talk about. Why we don't got, because they release all this. To me, it's relevant, spies and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But they ain't released the fact that crack was created in a lab, right?
And
they ain't
purposely
that.
Put in. I remember I had a conversation
AIDS.
with Judge Joe Brown, and I said to him, his perspective that crack was not put, it wasn't targeted. I let him know that it was targeted. It was targeted at the black community. Started in the West Coast. That's how Freeway Ricky Ross got involved. And it was like, it was a systematically went from Nicaragua. They got with Rick Ross. Rick Ross, that was his connect. But it was strictly focusing on what? The black community.
Mm-hmm.
And it went from the black community of LA and then swoop all the way up to the East Coast. And then when I broke it down to him like that, he couldn't say nothing because it's a fact.
Right.
It didn't go to the white community. It wasn't.
Right.
It wasn't in the urban community out of California.
Right.
It wasn't in the hills or nothing like that. It was the worst of the worst of the Grape Street gang with the gang areas and everything else. And they traveled. That's why they called him Freeway, because he was on the highway. going away, moving the crack around. You know what I mean? So these were targets. These were just like AIDS. It's like AIDS was made in a laboratory. It was targeted. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to get into, and I'm using the chat GBT to ask, is there evidence that crack cocaine was created in a lab by the United States government? Because this was scoured through. They saying, no, there's no evidence. The origin of crack cocaine is widely debated, but the consensus is that it was invented in the late 1970s in the Los Angeles area. They saying by drug dealers. My man.
Come on, man.
Okay. But we'll go into that. I'm gonna keep checking into that.
Come on, man. I mean, come on.
Date.
It is
Right.
what it is, but they got it off because Contra. What is it?
COINTELPRO. Oh no, Iran Contra.
Iran Contra. That whole thing right there. It's already it's in the books, man. You know what I mean? Yo, like, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Tell
Facts.
a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend.
That's
man.
a fact.
That's how we get busy over here, man. That's how we get busy.
We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Hey, yo, Bill Collector, man. Shouts out, man. We got our eyes on you, bro. Word up.
Shouts out. All right, man. Okay. Iran Contra.